We do think of like, it was in the past. They don't give us this loan or they won't give us insurance because of this. But those practices are still practiced.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We may not know that they're being practiced sometimes, but they are in the doors and, the closed doors where we don't get this or we don't get that.
Yeah, there are too many studies that show that borrowers, especially borrowers of color, Black borrowers, get higher interest rates, might just be denied a loan altogether, be it for their business or for home ownership. So while redlining is no longer illegal, it's still something that has a legacy impact on our capital access today.
Break it down what redlining really meant for Los Angeles and surrounding areas.
Yeah, let's break it down. So redlining is, and literally I want everybody to think about a map. I'm an urban planner, so I love looking and thinking about maps. The federal government had decided that they wanted to create ways to increase home ownership rates. This was the Great Depression in the 1930s, and the federal government said, you know what, we're going to back loans so that the private sector, those banks will make loans to people in communities to be able to purchase homes. The issue was the federal government said, but we're also going to look at some maps and draw some lines, and those lines are going to have 4 colors. Green is going to be the best area to invest in, and we're absolutely going to give out loans to communities in those green areas. But we're going to draw some red lines. There'll be some blue and yellow lines in between that kind of say caution. But those red lines that we're going to draw, we're not going to make any loans in those areas. So, Adai, you're probably asking me, well, what made the difference between...
Well, we are... I know, but just share with everybody.
A green area and a red area.
Right.
Unfortunately, the red areas had just Black people in them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that they were riskier in terms of providing loans to. It was just a systematic understanding at our federal level that there was not an interest in integration and that there was really a starving of resources to those communities with those red lines.
Well, and those red lines are, they were far away from the things that could really be investment properties and things that could really get the value changing over the years. The generational wealth could be built like the green lines where it was all coastal area.
Yes.
You look at Santa Monica, we talk about Bruce's Beach.
Yes.
We talk about what's happened in Venice. And a lot of people don't realize until I met some wonderful folks that you're going to talk to a little bit later on this morning about the history of Venice Beach and how that all came together. And when we hear about redlining, we think, it's not that far. That was so long ago. They're not still doing that. But I can't tell you how many banks are getting called out because of the loans they're not giving, right?
That's right. Too many today. And so, over the years, what you describe is that it was written down that, Black folks could not make purchases in what we consider some of the most desirable areas of LA County, the beach areas, certain communities, Beverly Hills, even parts of Altadena had notices where you could not, if you were Asian, Latino, Black, you could not get a loan in those areas.
Black and brown. And when you hear what she's saying, it's not just like, we're going to whisper, hey, make sure you don't do this. Make sure. This was law. Like, this was written down. Like, explain to me again. You were telling me the wording they used in the laws.
Yeah. So these are deeds. So some of our folks today could go back and look and research some of the deeds that they have right now, and they'll see language in there that says that you shall not sell or make this lot available to anyone of Asiatic descent, at that time of Negro or Black descent, anyone who, even certain countries in Europe, you couldn't, if you spoke another language other than English, you could not get a loan.
Wow. We think that we've come so far, but we say it's almost 100 years ago in the 30s when this was being practiced, but it's still in some regards still there where we can't get certain loans and certain issues. There are some ways that folks are coming together with organizations that are trying to correct the wrongs. And that's where I want to really get into because when we were talking, the Greenlining Institute.
Yes.
I was like, this is the answer. This is the answer. I wish a lot more people knew about it. and you are co-chair of the board of directors with
That's right. I've been involved with this organization almost 28 years, and it is really the response to redlining. We are saying, let's take those maps and the communities that weren't invested in, we're creating green lines on them, and we're utilizing federal laws like the Community Reinvestment Act, along with the Fair Housing Act that says, hey, you do have to invest in these communities. You know, many of the financial institutions are taking our, they take our deposits and they're in our communities. And it's really important that everyone have equal access to that capital. And as you described earlier, it's so that we can create that generational wealth. If you were able to own a home in Venice, almost 100 years ago, think about how much it's worth now. And yet you say someone like me and my family is of African-American descent, if we couldn't purchase there, that means that we were not able to build that wealth over those generations.
Well, we've seen so much about the organization Where's My Land with Bruce's Beach. And as I said earlier, we're going to meet a wonderful group of people that are living our ancestors' dream there in Venice Beach. We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, you're going to meet them and find out how they were able to have the only hotel, Redline, in Venice Beach. It's Adai Lamar on KJLH. Finally, we're having a conversation about redlining, where we're really getting an understanding of these laws and practices of the 30s and how they've affected us all the way until now in 2025. We're still talking about this. We're still fighting against these practices. Sending our love to all of those that were affected by the fires, especially there in Altadena, one of the communities that was a redlining area, right? Our guest, Long Beach City Councilwoman Tunua Thrash-Ntuk. She is the co-chair of board directors for Greenlining Institute and the president and CEO of the Center of Lindustry. And she has been able to provide a lot of insight on these practices and where we are now with the Greenlining Institute. Tell me just a little bit more, because I was really interested in how you guys help find funding and how folks can get, their dreams started in these areas that we were once unable to be a part of.
Well, Adai, the Greenlining Institute is really, as I said, the solution to redlining. There was a time when, because of redlining, race was a barrier. And today, we don't want race to be a barrier to building health and wealth in communities. So at Greenlining, we work with financial institutions to make sure that they're investing in communities. And you named off all the things I do in the world. And one of the things that I do is working.
You're a busy lady.
I am. And I'm a mom. There are small businesses who need access to capital and homeowners who are looking to access to capital. And so in my everyday work as president and CEO of the Center by Lindustry, what we're doing is making sure that we're bringing people to that opportunity to get connected with that capital.
Well, I tell you what, this group that we're bringing in right now, I'm so excited for you to meet them, because I saw their social media, as the young people say, their social media was popping. And I got familiar with the wonderful things they're doing there in Venice. And then I got to really understand the story of it, which was so very interesting. Please help me welcome to the microphones here in the studio. This is the Redline Hotel, the whole crew, the owners. I want you to give us your names and your position with it. And then we're going to tell them what Redline Hotel is.
Hi, I'm Kamau Coleman. I am the co-founder and CEO of the Redline Hotel Group.
I am Mike Clinton. I am co-founder and principal of the CEO of the Redline Hotel Group.
I am Sophia Samrath. I am the creative director and co-founder of the Redline Hotel Group.
And I am Destiny Solis. I am the director of guest experience and a co-founder of the Redline Hotel Group.
Wow, let me tell you, this group is outstanding. Tunua, I always want to mispronounce your name.
Oh, Tunua?
Yeah, Tunua.
To know me.
Tunua. When I met this group here, this is your answer. When we talk about our ancestors living that dream, finally being able to get into those areas that were green lined that we couldn't get into. Kamau, you guys have really stepped up and done something really big with Redline Hotel. Tell us about it.
Well, Adai, thank you so much for allowing us to be here, and thank you to KJLH. We're just so excited to be able to tell you a little bit about the Redline. So the Redline Hotel Group started with a single property that we own in Venice Beach. We had the opportunity to buy that property from another African-American family friend during the pandemic. Michael Clinton and I had that opportunity, and we looked at the beach and we realized exactly what Tunua was talking about. There was such a small chance for us to end up owning that property at the beach because of Redline.
Right.
And because of that, we felt that we needed to honor the fact that this property was being passed from one generation to the other. It was an opportunity to hopefully to pass that down to the next generation. And so we wanted to honor that. And so we started a process of really understanding the history, both the history of Black and brown folks in Venice Beach, as well as the history of redlining. And it was just obvious that the name of the hotel had to be the Redline.
Well, I tell you what, I love the idea that it was passed down, and we talk about the generational wealth that was passed to another Black or brown family, right?
Yep.
And you guys could have just taken that and ran with it and just like, okay, look, we got it now. It's ours. But you really put a lot of work into this, Michael, to make sure that it became not just something for you and your families, but to educate. And that's what I think we all really need to know more about where this is, because if we don't understand redlining, we'll be right back where we were.
I agree with you. And the reason we were so passionate about this particular project was it's obvious that there was a lack of transfer of wealth, right? But the reality is there was also a lack of transfer to access to education, lack of access to healthcare. I mean, every facet of life comes and centers around where you live. And so when you forbid us from having access to the best that's available to the public, I mean, you're really crippling us in a way that's that we really felt passionate about addressing with our museum hotel.
Well, I love it. I've had a chance to go and really just walk around and see every detail. You guys you spared no expense. Destiny, you were my tour guide of that. Tell me a little bit about the hotel, because it tells a story. So when people come, they're just not like, oh, this is they're paying homage, but you really educate. Both of you, Sophia, both of you.
Yeah, for us, it was really important once we started to understand the history that was there in Venice Beach and learning about the first Black family, the Reese and the Tabors, that came to Venice and made a significant impact and contribution to this area, while at the same time being discriminated against. It felt like a responsibility for us to be able to share that story and to share all of the stories that we came to learn with the help of, we were working with historians and artists and people in the community. So for us, it wasn't just about building a hotel in Venice Beach. It was about building a hotel with Venice Beach.
And I think you guys have nailed it, because you tell the story. You went back and got people that really understood it. The artwork, everything, every detail in that hotel is meant to educate, as well as let them enjoy the beautiful Venice Beach, which we, at one time did not have access to. But this is really sharing the history of it, Sophia.
Yes, and what we wanted to celebrate is, in spite of the struggles, in spite of the restrictions, that there are stories that emerge that we really wanted to share. And with every suite, we tell a story that we hope people feel inspired by, feel levity about the history, as a way to honor the past so that we know how to move forward.
Right, and not repeat the past, right? Yes. Tell me about the hotel itself. There are 4 units, 4 suites, right? Tell me about each of them and how they represent what they represent.
So we have 4 suites at the Redline Venice. Each of them are telling different Black histories of Venice Beach. We take you through the foundation, the founding of Venice Beach, 1905 to 1920, where we talk about the first Black family of Venice Beach. And then we take you through 1950 to 1960s when Venice Beach it was a tough place to live at the time. And we celebrate the beatnik culture and some of the creatives that were born out of Venice. And then in our 1-bedroom ocean view suite, we tell the story of surfers and skateboarders and roller skaters that really left their spirit into the soul of Venice Beach. So each of our suites are telling not just the different eras history, but we really like to highlight the local legends. And these are people that we've been able to meet with, break bread with. They've become friends of ours at the hotel. So it's a really special moment for us to be able to celebrate these people and have them also be our supporters.
And there is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath suite called the Canvas. And in the Canvas, we're celebrating the idea of bringing something to life, reimagining something that doesn't exist, be it equality, be it human rights. So that space, we celebrate everything it takes to bring an idea to life.
And I think the other thing about the Canvas is that it is the place that we integrate, and it's all about the future. That's the place that community comes. When we have events on the property, people are in that suite. And as a matter of fact, when we have artists and residents program, they will create in that suite, and we actually have some of their pieces of artwork. So it's a platform to reintegrate and to keep on furthering the cause of Venice.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to learn more about this beautiful hotel that you have to go check out. The QR codes lead you all through it, so it's almost like a museum there where you can go and really understand it. And then we're going to tell you how you can come and check out the Redline Hotel right there in Venice Beach. All right? Good morning, family. It's Adai, Lamar, Radio Free, 102.3 KJLH. Thank you, Steve. Boy, this conversation, I love it. I you know what? I'm going to have to start doing the behind the scenes because we get so much more when we're just relaxing and talking. We have with us President and CEO of the Center of Lindustry and the co-chair of the Board of Directors for Greenlining Institute, Tunua Thrash-Ntuk, and the whole crew from Redline Hotel, the owners there in Venice Beach. I'm loving this conversation because, Tunua, we were sharing that, it's important that we know the history, but we need to know the future, that there are things that are happening that are moving us farther and farther away from those practices. And I love this crew with the Redline Hotel because they're living the dream of our ancestors, and opening doors for others to do the same. When you hear that, what these wonderful people are doing and your mission of the Greenlining Institute, I'm sure you're like, yes.
Yes, I'm ready to dance in my chair. I was like, this is wonderful. We need ways to celebrate the successes. I was listening to them and thinking, my goodness, there was a time when we could not boldly walk into a space like this in Venice. And now not only can we walk there, we own it.
Right.
We own it. And I loved hearing that they're paying homage to the history and making sure that people understand that Black folks, there were some who were making it, who were owning in those areas, no matter how difficult it was. And we're doing really great things. And so great to hear that it's a generational wealth transfer.
I know. Wait till you get over there and see it. They really went all out. And I said, these fellas doing it, but this is a woman's touch somewhere in this. There's a woman's touch somewhere. And Sophia and Destiny, you guys teamed up to really design this, and it is outstanding. I commend you both. Tell us a little bit about the design. How was your process of putting all this together?
Well, I think we could start with the name Redline, which is a very bold name in itself. We watched a documentary on PBS, and we learned that Abed Kinney had willed his beachfront home to his chauffeur and friend, Irving Tabor. Being that Irving Tabor was Black, he was not allowed to live on this beachfront property. So he saw that home down into several pieces and relocated it to modern day Oakwood, where Black folks were allowed to own. That story really compelled me that he didn't allow this to stop him. He was going to own that home. And it still exists today in modern day Oakwood.
Well, let me tell you, when you shared this story with me, I want everyone to hear what she's just advocating. All this little area there where we go, I never knew the history of it. I never knew any of this history. And that's how, the Tabor family came and was told to make it look like Venice. And all of that. And Destiny, you're taking me through the tour. It was like the history you always wanted to know. You needed to know.
Yeah, this story, when Sophia brought the story of the Reeses and the Tabors and their contributions to Venice Beach, this was really the seed that led us down the path to want to understand everything that was happening in Venice Beach. And we had just a morsel of information. And what we did was we reached out to a historian, Allison Rose Jefferson. And what she did for us was she gave us the connections to these people. We were able to meet these people. We were able to license photos and artwork and really create our suites to be living museums so that when you walk in, you see books and artwork and photographs that immerse you into this history. And we want for our guests to be able to see that, to be inspired, to want to discover more of that history. And so,
like you did.
Exactly like we did. And so what we did was we took that content, we put it into QR codes so that people can take another layer deeper into really understanding those stories that we tell.
Well, Allison, we want to just give her much love and shout out to her. But it wasn't as easy as like, hey, we want to know. She had to make sure you guys were legit, right? I remember you telling me that.
Oh, yeah. The very first email that I wrote to Allison was my understanding of the history of Venice Beach. And she had so many questions. She said, who are you? Who is your organization? What do you do? Are you Black?
Right.
She wanted to know that we were legit.
Yes.
And I think that after our first meeting with her, she really understood how passionate we were about telling the story and telling it in a way that was authentic and true to the culture and true to the community. And that collaboration is how we see us expanding into all these other locations of really being able to take that deep dive into the community.
Well, she wanted to make sure that she was putting this in good hands, making sure that the story will be told properly. And I commend her on that. We're going to take another break here. When we come back, we want to talk about how you guys plan to grow and how Greenlining Institute can help others grow as well. So it's more coming your way. Good morning. It's Adai, Lamar, Radio Free, 102.3 KJLH.
You're listening to The Update.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you. If you're just joining us, we've been having a very lively conversation about redlining, something that has really jumped to the forefront as far as understanding in the last maybe beginning of January with the fires with Altadena, when it was put in the spotlight to talk about this area that had been part of the redlining era. We've had very special guests in studio. They're still here with us. We were just talking about how redlining, it stopped a lot of opportunities for Black and brown people for ownership in certain areas. And these folks are living the dream of our ancestors. This is the crew that have put together the Redline Hotel right there in Venice Beach. If you've yet to get over there, you should. It pays homage and does so really well. Miss Christina wouldn't have it any other way, the historian of sharing what redlining did and the history of Venice Beach. But we talk about the money and things that go into this and how this was transferred generational wealth. And you think, oh, well, that was in their family. But you guys are opening it up, not just for your family, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, one of the things that's so exciting about this is truly, really a labor of love of the community, right? We're wanting to give to the community. And in order to be here, we actually had to raise money in a collaborative way. So friends and family came in and invested with us. So today we are living that dream right now. And our future, our hope, I mean, redlining happened all over this country.
Yeah.
And in all of these places that redlining occurred, you have deep history, which we then get to go and bring out and design into the walls of our properties. And so the idea is to go to New Orleans, is to go to Baltimore and to do red lines there where we're able to tell these same sorts of stories, but tailored to that community. The piece of it, there's always a need for money. And so this will be a rare opportunity we're going to open up to the community to invest with us through a crowdfunding vehicle where they can actually own a piece of the Redline brand.
Wow.
So this is something, people don't get a piece of Marriott day one. We're offering in January, we will be offering the community an opportunity to own a piece of the Redline brand as we expand.
Wow. Our ancestors are jumping up and down. Michael, that's a big component of this, right?
It is. So we see the Venice location as essentially a prototype, right? It's the model home. You'll see that we've done an exceptional job, but the best job that we could on our own with our friends and family. And now we're in a position where we want to talk to investors. We want to talk to lenders. We want to talk to banks. We want to talk to other people who can join the movement. We have a scalable concept that can be expanded. Any place that redlining occurred, which is essentially every single major city in America. And we're excited to go to those respective places and tell those stories in a way that we think will really impact the nation.
When we talk about investing, and Tunua, we were sharing that it does take, when we get certain properties and things like that, I don't have that kind of money sitting around. I'm going to have to call somebody up. Tunua, girl, what you got over there?
I hear you.
Like, what y'all got? What you got on it? But the laws and the, banks don't really want to come in on that front when you have all these different people in it. I guess they're like, we don't want to be accountable for everybody. So why are the policies as they are, and how can we get more funding? I know we've been talking about the Greenlining Institute, and that is the policy part of it. But you, my dear, are also sitting at the table over there at the center of Lindustry. Can we talk about some lending some money, please?
Well, Adai, that was a two-part question, and one that, the first piece when it comes to the policy, when your listeners think about what can they do to make sure that if we're going to be able to reclaim what our ancestors didn't get a chance to own, we might have to do that together, cooperatively, invest together. And just like the federal government in the 1930s said, individual homeowners could have loans that are backed by the federal government, well, maybe the federal government needs to get in the business of making sure that they can have government-backed loans to support cooperative investment, to try and encourage the banks to make these kinds of loans. Because yes, the banks are looking at this and they're like, well, now who is responsible? We go down the list. Exactly. So having those kind of policies is something that we really want to make sure that our congressional leaders know, so that we can get those policies changed for that cooperative economics. I'd love to see Redline all over the country.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Wonderful.
I'm loving that.
Yes.
Now with Lindustry, tell me, how does that piece play into it?
So the Center by Lindustry, and we work very closely with our sister organization, Lindustry. What we're doing is helping businesses like Redline position themselves for the best capital opportunities for them. So we want to make sure that you are ready with the right financial materials and resources, get the best interest rate, get the best kind of capital that works for what you want to do. So we'd love to talk with businesses, including Redline, about how to make that happen.
So you're our eyes and ears, and they're making sure they're doing us right. We love that. Please tell us, how can we get in touch with those of you there at Redline? And then we need to find out how we can get with you with Greenlining Institute. So Redline, Miss Destiny, how can we get in touch with you guys?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us on and giving us the platform to speak about Redline and our mission and what we're doing in the future. We would love for everyone to support us by following us on social media at the Redline Hotel Group. Visit our website, sign up for our emails. The best way to really be able to understand what we're doing at Redline is to come see the property and get a docent tour, as you were able to, Adai. So when we come to our events, we'll be more than happy to take you through the suites and give you guys our brand narrative.
I love that. Tunua, thank you so much for coming in. Tell us, how can we get in touch with you and learn more about the Greenlining Institute and the Center of Lindustry?
So feel free to visit the Greenlining Institute website at www.greenlining.org. And then also find me at thecenterbylindustry.org.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. I thank you for coming in. I see you dragged a little one with you here. And I think his name is so perfect for this. Tell us your name, young man. This is her son.
Hi, I'm Justice.
Hi.
I'm 9 years old.
Oh, Justice. You know what? Your name is perfect for this show. This is what we need for our ancestors, some justice after all of these years, through all the redlining, which is almost 100 years ago, but still having issues. We finally got justice to the mic. Thank you, sir, for being here.
You're welcome.
Family, it has been so awesome to have all of you here. I'm telling you guys, get out there and check out the Redline Hotel. You will not be disappointed. They're doing some big things out there, all right? Thank you so much for joining us today. It's Adai Lamar, Radio Free, 102.3 KJLH.